Hello, Commander. This is the Ukrainian operational report, and we will address the Ukrainian forces as ours and the Russian forces as the enemy. So the Ukrainian forces, so our forces has been continuing to attack in the region of Orikhiv sector, and we are continuing to be fighting within the around the Robotine region with the aim to capture Novoprokopivka, and we're heading towards Verbove. We are making attempts to push south of Robotine, and we have reliable intel to confirm that we are attacking in the northern part of Robotine in this region here. The Russians are fighting very hard against us. We are unable to break through just yet. We are still pretty much in this northern outskirt of Novoprokopivka. But no worries, we will break through. We are also heading towards the western part of Robotine. We are trying to expand this this buffer zone, perhaps all the way along this water line would be good, south of this entrenchment that the Russians have built up. We will try to take out there. We are moving out, but the progress is currently very slow. Over at the Verbove region is extremely difficult. We have gone all the way to this final tree line, but we are unable to break into the village itself, with the Russians consistently conducting a counter-offensive and hit and runs using armored vehicles against this tree line. So we are unable to have a firm control of these tree lines, which means that we are unable to do this offensive into the village itself. So because of this, we are continuing to explore going southward instead, to see if we can find more success in the other direction, heading southward in the southwestern part of Verbove. There is some heavy trenches around this region, around Verbove, southwestern of Verbove, and progress tentatively also is very slow. So we are sending our foreign fighters to Mala Tomashka as well as Novodanilivka, and I will be sending them down. Oh, sorry, not me, but Zelensky's generals will be sending them down to the front line, and perhaps Commander, you can take charge of them and make them do better than whatever that's happening right now over in the Orikhiv sector. We move on to the other major front line is over at the southern part of the Bakhmut front. We are conducting heavy offensive in this region here to expand the control around Klishchiivka, mainly towards the eastern part of Klishchiivka. We're attacking Andriivka as well as Kudyomivka and Ozeryanivka. We are currently trapped around this Ozeryanivka and Kudyomivka region, with the Russian forces continue to hold very strong defense along this region here. We have more success further up in the north. We have taken around this railway line region south of Andriivka, and we are continue to try to fan out towards the eastern part of Andriivka. Tentatively, it does seems quite difficult, with the Russian forces continue to send reinforcement to this region here. And further up in the Klishchiivka region, we are still stuck pretty much in the northern part of the northern outskirts of Klishchiivka, but we have geolocation of our forces pretty much in the northern outskirts of Klishchiivka, putting everything to rest that the Ukrainian forces indeed have control of the full village. So we are attacking out to try to conquer the entire of this railway line, and particularly a strong attention towards the eastern part of Klishchiivka. There is geolocation of some fighting over in the northern part of Klishchiivka, and this geolocation is very disturbing because it shows that the Russian forces is actually very close in this region, and they actually are able to push to the north of Klishchiivka, and this means that our forces will have to continue to make good pushes further in the north to have a better buffer zone. Then Klishchiivka can be secure. Tentatively, Klishchiivka doesn't look very secure right now. with Russians are able to easily send in drones and artillery strike to strike our forces, which means Klishevka right now still is not a forward operating base that can be used to conduct further offensive. And we are also continuing our offensive over within the forest region in the Serebryansky forestry in the Crimea front and towards Dibrova. And however, we did lose an airplane over Toske. But it's okay, no problem. We will ask the allies to send in more planes for us. And the Russians are trying to distract us. There is fighting in the Kupiansk front, in Sinkivka, Ivanivska, Kaislivka, and the Novosibirsk region and Sinkivka region, over at the Novoyehorivka as well in the Sviatove front. All these are probably not real offensive from the Russian forces. It's just to distract our forces, to redeploy forces away from the Bakhmut front, which we definitely shouldn't do. There's important note is over in the Novosibirsk region. Previously, our forces have sent we have successfully conducted raids into Novosibirsk, and we have captured probably 2/3 of the village. And however, geolocation of Russian forces that shows that the Russians are actually counterattacking. And latest information over the past 3 days suggests that our offensive have not continued. It's pretty much the Russians that is conducting the counteroffensive. And so far, they are also attacking in the northern part in Berestove. So our forces is making the best attempt to just hold the position right now. The time is not ripe for us to capture Novosibirsk just yet. And otherwise, we have conducted a raid into Starosele over here. Starosele. There is a raid inside. We have clashed with the Russian forces. They are continuing to be quite attentive to the border region, but this is just a warning shot against the Russians to let them know that no, we can come at any time, at anywhere. And otherwise, we are redeploying some forces through Dnipro to the western part. And whatever this plan is going to be very secret. But actually, most likely, we are going to deploy these forces to capture Novokakhovka. This is likely to be the plan, as we have already landed forces over at the Kozatsky Island, and most likely we're going to gather a bigger force so that we can actually land more forces and capture this town and control this dam. But tentatively, nobody will know what we're going to do. We are only sending forces westward, and this force is pretty big. It's around 190 vehicles or pieces of equipment and exceeding 8,000 troops. So this is definitely something that we will continue to keep a secret with, and are not letting the Russians know what we're going to do. Otherwise, other parts is the ongoing battle around this Velika Novosilka sector. We are clashing with the Russian forces over around the Prione region. Some exchanges in terms of attacks, pretty much skirmish, nothing to really very big. And we are also doing some raids over in the Staromayorsk region to keep the Russians busy. Otherwise, in the Avdiivka region, we are conducting some limited offensive over the Vasily and Krasnohorivka region, and as well we are also trying to attack Vodian and Pervomaisky, as well as the further south in the Nevelsky region. And all this is just to make sure that we can continue to make full use of our superior number of manpower to keep the Russians around here stuck in defense, or at least to continue to engage us in the Avdiivka front, so that they cannot be redeployed over to the Bakhmut front where we are conducting our main offensive. So that's the operational report for the Ukrainian side. And do press the like button, subscribe, and just a disclaimer, I'm not pro-Ukrainian. This is just to report this in the Ukrainian mindset, so that you can kind of view this in a very different way. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.